Great. So I am in, can you hear me? People,
Yeah.
can everybody hear
Yep.
me? Good. I am in a car because, of course, the flight situations have been terrible. And so thank God I got off my flight and so I'm doing this from a car. I would have rather not done it from a car, but this is really important and we really wanted to get this done on a timely basis. So Amy and Mary Catherine from the Shanker Institute, Dan from IFT and the Shanker Institute, we really wanted to make sure that we had this seminar um, about anti-Semitism and also the intersection between what's going on with anti-Semitism and with the Trump administration and with all of the ICE raids and things like that. So I want to start in some ways where we started this summer at our convention. A lot of the people who are on, there's almost 300 people on, which is fantastic. At our convention this summer, we did several events with um, with uh, on these issues. We had the Parent Circle from Israel, people from Jewish folk and Palestinian folk who had both lost people to violence and to war. We had Hand in Hand, the Palestinian Jewish bilingual school. We had the Histadrut. We had the Israeli Teachers Union. We also had several other groups, Palestinian groups, some of which were in the house and some of which were outside the house. We had two identity groups that were there as well. And we spent a bunch of time, we had several different seminars on issues around Israel, Palestine, what's going on there, what's going on here. And since that point, we announced this partnership with JCPA, which Amy will talk about a bit more, about how we actually deal with both or deal with three things: making sure that schools are safe and welcoming to all. Number two, taking on hate, whether it's anti-Semitism, whether it's Islamophobia, whether it's the weaponization of either one of this, but we have to take on hate, period. And number three, we have to find ways to make sure that we stay true to our values on peaceful protest and on academic freedom. Now, I'm not saying doing all three of those things are easy. They're not. And there was anti-Semitism before October 7th, and there's anti-Semitism since October 7th. And there's anti-Semitism on the right, and there's anti-Semitism on the left. So we, as a union, have tried to deal with all of this in a very, very, very fractured and a very highly emotional arena, particularly when people feel unsafe, and particularly when and since there's been a war that's ongoing since October 7th in Israel and in Gaza. We have a bunch of resolutions about how to deal with all of this, unanimously done at the not at the convention, but at our executive council. We have a resolution from the convention, both about the war, about our positions on ensuring that there is a right for Israel to exist and a right for Palestinians to have self-determination. So we've done a lot of this work, and our work has been very much in focusing on ensuring that people have a voice, people can express themselves, regardless of whether Dan or I or anybody else agrees with what the expression is. But the union itself really comes out in terms of fighting against hate, seeing anti-Semitism as real, seeing Islamophobia as real, fighting for a welcoming and safe environment. I know there's a lot of Jews on this Zoom right now, so that people feel welcome and safe in their schools, whether they are a student or whether they are a teacher. That's part of the reason we did what we did to help and Karen Martyr in Hillcrest High School and had her at the convention as well. And also making sure that people have the right to protest and to express themselves in a nonviolent way. That is the point and the reason that is absolutely essential in terms of our universities in particular. I would say it's essential in terms of our K-12 system as well, and it's essential in terms of democracy. Now, on top of all of this, we now have a Trump administration. The Biden administration, you saw the second gentleman took on the whole issue of anti-Semitism and fought to actually have anti-Semitism be something prominent in that administration. And you also saw about 7 out of 10 Jews in America vote for Harris. I'm only saying that not politically, but I'm saying that because people felt and saw that in a real way. The Trump administration is handling it differently. I'm glad that they're concerned about anti-Semitism. I wish they were concerned about all sorts of other discrimination as well. But what they're doing is actually doing it in my judgment, in the wrong way. And in my judgment, and now I'll say it very personally, I think they're actually going to make Jews less safe, not more safe, because of the things that they are doing. And I say that as a Jew. It's the only time I'll be personal in this way. And I say that as someone who's married to a rabbi. And I say that as someone who was a victim of anti-Semitism when I was growing up in Rockland County. We have taken the positions that regardless, and personally, I don't like what Muhammad Khalil has said, but regardless of what he said, he is a green card holder, and ICE had no right to detain him in the way that they have, and they had no right to detain him for the issues that he expressed. That is America, and he has a right, if he was nonviolent, to express those issues. So we've taken positions that have said, don't do this in our name, and don't do this kind of work. We've also taken the position in terms of all of the attacks on the research that Columbia and others have done that says, yes, you have to take on anti-Semitism. And yes, you should use OCR to do those kind of things. But do not use McCarthyite tactics to do all of this. So those have been our positions that we've taken. But we have to go much deeper than that. And that is our partnership with JCPA. We have to actually make sure that people feel safe and that people don't feel like because they're Jewish and someone who happens to be very, very, very meaningfully want to press on a Palestinian cause, that they feel unsafe. If they happen to believe in Israel, that they feel unsafe. And the same is true in terms of Palestinians, and the same is true for people on the other side of this debate. We have to make sure that people feel like they can express themselves without actually feeling that they are unsafe in their schools, or that they are unsafe in their streets or with their colleagues. And so part of what we want to do with JCPA is have those kind of discussions and really figure out ways that anti-Semitism can be addressed, Islamophobia can be addressed, but also the belief in a shared society and the belief in having expression being something that is valued by us and academic freedom valued by us. So all of these things, it's not easy to do, but that's why we felt the real need to actually have a seminar right now, as hot as this issue is, to actually say, we're here, we want to figure out ways that people feel safe, people feel like they can teach, and people feel like they can have free expression, and people feel like they have a home, whoever they are, Jewish, Muslim, religious, not religious, Christian, that you have a home in the AFT. Amy.